Okay, welcome back. Season 2, episode 55 of the Fantasy Happy Hour. Thanks anyone who's watching this. We crushed 54 for the 2020 NFL season. Maybe a little bit less because I think we had some hockey ones thrown in there, but over 40 for sure. So we're back with season 2. Surprise to everyone. Things are probably not polished quite yet, but as we get going by week 3 or 4, they'll be pretty good again. We're hoping this year we're going to get some more guests. So if you're into fantasy football and DFS, leave a comment or send us a message. We'd love to have more people on. But for this first one of the 2021 season, we'll be doing the Thursday night showdown, the Cowboys versus the Bucks. Going to be a good football game and a great way to start off the season. Tarin, I'll let you kind of take off and give us some of your picks for this Thursday's matchup.
I'm pumped here. Football's back. I get to spend more time on the couch than I already do, which is always great. But this is a great game to lead off on the Thursday nighter next week. I mean, Brady coming back. They're 7.5-point favorites. The team's almost pretty much unchanged. They were able to keep a lot of their guys because of Brady's, maneuvering of that contract. And then Dak's back, and he's saying he's fully healthy. So this should be a high-firing offensive game. I mean, the Bucks, the one thing I'll say is the Bucks defense did perform in the playoffs there. They've kind of changed their throughout the season last year. They were really struggling on defense early, and then they really picked it up in the playoffs. So let's see if they can continue that or if they'll go back to their early season woes on defense. We're kind of hoping for that because then this will be just a shootout. But let's lead in with some captain picks. And I mean, the first and foremost is the Buccaneers go through Brady, and that's where they start and kind of end. Brady spreads the ball so much that when you go to the score to look at kind of the box score, you're going to see about 19 receivers, 3 running backs, and 3 tight ends in this team. There is a lot of mouths to feed in this team, so I like him at captain kind of first. And then if you want, take the one off on one of his receivers, whether that's Evans or Godwin. If they get a 2-touchdown game, they'll probably outscore Brady. But in most cases, Brady is the best kind of fantasy player on this team, and he spreads the ball too much. On the other side of the ball, I think you can, same kind of logic to me. If you're going to take a captain on the Dallas side, you're going to take probably Amari Cooper. He's the most explosive receiver on this team. He's the one who's going to get you that 40-point game if anybody is. CeeDee Lamb, because he catches out of the slot primarily, he's going to catch a lot more short passes. If he gets 2 TDs, he may not break 100, whereas Amari's probably going to get that deep ball. So I like Amari Cooper. And then Dak, we saw last year, if you look at his 5-game log of what he did in losing games, he was scoring 40, 45 points in losing scripts. And in garbage time, the guy just seems to score and then score some more. And he usually steals a bit from Zeke. So he often will take his own number. With the injury, I'd be a little hesitant to that. I think they might lean towards Zeke running in the red zone a little more, not injure Dak early this season. But I think both sides of this ball are high firing, and you can take kind of those top receivers and the quarterbacks. Outside of that, I don't like the one-offs. If you're going to go heavy in this game, maybe taking like a Gronk or somebody on the cheaper end, maybe a Blake Jarwin. He's kind of the lone tight end on the Dallas side. Both tight ends are in play, so flex. I think the problem I see on the Tampa Bay side is because Brady spreads the ball. We now have OJ Howard's back and Gronkowski. So you got 3 tight ends that all are very good pass catchers. And so you could see a good spread, whether it's 3 touchdowns, 1 to each of them. So they each do like a 1-for-20 score line with a touchdown. So I think that still leads to Brady being the best play of the bunch. The Tampa Bay defense is in play if you expect them to be able to come back, shut down Dak. And of course, I think he might be a little hesitant early coming off an injury like that. Zeke is my biggest question mark. Running backs in this game are tough. Tampa Bay really performed well in the run game in the late stages of the playoffs and the end of the Super Bowl. So I don't know if I love Zeke. Zeke was looking pretty good still last year, but he became more efficient in the pass catching role too. And then Fournette's there as well. So the running game's both pretty good. But if you want to kind of go with Brady, you can stack him with Fournette. Fournette tends to catch a few balls and still be efficient to some degree with Brady, but he's usually not the captain choice because he's not going to explode. And then I like both kickers. I think that I like going offensive in this one, kind of going with 4-2 stacks, 3-3 stacks. And then, of course, like I mentioned already, those tight ends. I think they're the way to save in this. I don't see going to deep receivers here because both teams have like 3 core receivers, and all of them are going to play prime, I'd say 70 to 80% of this game. And that's with Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and Gallup on the Dallas side. And then you have Evans, Godwin, and I believe Scotty Miller. If not, they're bringing in Johnson, I believe now. So they kind of rotate that third guy, but they're pretty core.
What's the status right now with the Bucs and Antonio Brown? Is he an option?
Yep, he's their third. Actually, that's who you spotted it for me. I was like sitting here thinking for a name, but yeah, he's fully ready to go. He's on a 1-year deal again, so he's back. So there's again three and three cores, so you can kind of diversify there, get different with tight ends. Both teams have, I think there's 5 valid tight ends in this game, so there's just a plethora of weapons. So go different. Try to throw a defense in with an offense. One thing you can do against Dak specifically is put Tampa Bay's defense in and play Dak. Dak, we saw a couple games last year where he put up 4 picks, but he put up 480 yards and 5 TDs on top of that. So it was like he scored 40, the defense scored 15. So they could both be in play. But overall, I see this game going Tampa Bay's way, but I like going full offensive. And oftentimes with Dallas, you can see them lose and put up more fantasy value than Tampa Bay because they're going to spread the ball so much.
Now, I think one thing that we might see some people having a question about is Zeke is in the captain slot. Where are you thinking for Zeke in the captain spot? I know you're probably not too pro that right now. It sounds like that might be a fade for you, but just kind of curious your thoughts on that.
I think it's valid if you want to go and you expect kind of them to lean more on Zeke, which maybe is a good play with the injury to Dak. So maybe that's the smart move, is to lean more on that running game, lean on Zeke. He had a great season and he didn't look like he was slowing down much last year. And that was the worry with him. He kind of looked like he was getting a little bit slower, older. He's venturing into his, I think, 5th or 6th or 7th season. He's kind of getting deeper for a running back. But I think I think the 2 quarterbacks in this game are going to constitute 70% of the ownership of captain. I mean, it's going to be high because these are 2 high firing offenses. And so Zeke's a good way to get away from that. And I think there's potential to stack him with Dak Prescott because he was in the pass catching game quite a bit more last season. So
awesome. Well, this Thursday showdown will be a great first game to get back in the saddle for some NFL football. I'm pumped it's back. I know you're pumped it's back. It's going to be an exciting season. A little bit tough for some fan bases more than others. But thanks for the analysis on episode 55 here. If you guys enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. It would really help us out. We're hoping to get to at least 100 subscribers in the next month. And if we got 200 by the end of the season, that'd be sick. So, and if there's any other types of content you guys want to see, let us know and we'll try to make it happen. Stay tuned and see you on the next one for the Sunday slate. Peace.